Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. So, lots of different people have had to come up with different new businesses during COVID-19. And we've gone through this incredible digitization and TikTok and Instagram Reels and all this kind of stuff. And I got to tell you, I wanted to check in with some people I've been following on Instagram because they've got the life. They've got the life we all want to leave. What they've been doing is they've been traveling the world and posting about it and somehow making a living out of it. And it's unbelievable. So I want to introduce you to the Lost Two, Claudia Naroda and Con. I've forgotten your last name already.
Con Blofield. Hey, Brian. It's
Con Blofield.
That's right.
Claudia Naroda and Con Blofield, who are the Lost Two. Guys, how are you?
Excellent. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining me again. I really appreciate it. So just give us an overview. How did you guys come up with this idea of like traveling the world and posting it on Instagram and making money or something like this out of it?
Well, it never was the intention when we first started out. It all started with us just taking photos for our friends and family back home, posting it on Instagram. And, we were, when Claudia and I met, Claudia was a big traveler and she got me on the travel train. And she brought me on some adventures, and we just got hooked. And every time we could get some time off of work, we took that time to travel. We saved all of our money, every special event, everything, long weekend, whatever, we would get away and we would take photos and share that with our friends and family. And we came up with this idea that we were going to quit our jobs. This was after a couple of years of traveling, of course, like on and off.
A couple of years. I thought this was just a while. So how long have you been doing this?
No, so we started traveling full time in 2018, but we had been traveling on and off while we had our full time jobs since 2015. So for 3 years we were on and off traveling in between our corporate jobs and between weekends and holidays and whatnot. And we set ourselves a goal in 2018 after we got engaged and said, we're going to work hard for a year. We're going to quit our jobs and we're just going to travel the world with no destination or end in sight, and we're just going to take a bunch of photographs, share them with our friends and family, and it blossomed from there. People started to take interest in what we were doing, and our following started to explode.
Yeah. At first, we weren't exactly sure how we can make an income. I mean, there's no real guidebook or anything. It's such a new industry, but we figured out a lot of trial, a lot of error, and we got to where we are today.
And so you've been doing this since 2018 full time. And I guess I only found you during the last year. Has your viewership gone up dramatically during COVID when people are like me, stuck at home and looking for something interesting to look at?
Yes, it definitely
It definitely did, especially with the launch of Instagram Reels. It allowed us to diversify our content and gives add an element that was not there beforehand and attract a new group of people to our page.
There's only so much you can show in photos, but videos, it's a whole different ballgame.
So where were you publishing these things before Instagram Reels?
Oh, no, we were on Instagram. They were just photos. They were just Instagram photos. And then Reels came out, which is more like short 15-second videos. And we do everything from travel videos, short 15-second travel videos, to comedic couple sketches and satirical things, and really just diversifying, not just being in the travel space now, but also being more like lifestyle and relatable, showing people that, we are regular people that are in lockdown and we're at home. And
you're not regular people. I've seen your Instagram posts. You're not regular people. You're living the dream.
Thank you. It's a lot of hard work that a lot of people don't see.
Okay, the Lost Two. Where's that from?
Gosh, we were in Bali, and we had our page, and I forget what it was called. It must have been like Claudia and Con, or something silly like that. And then once our following started to slowly take off, I think we had maybe 10,000 followers. We were like, okay, this is starting to take off. We need to rebrand and be create some kind of brand identity. Yeah. And I guess we brainstormed a bunch of things, and
it just came up once I guess our first paycheck came in and realized like, wow, this is actually a way that you can make money and maybe we can sustain ourselves and do it long term. We decided that we needed to kind of brand ourselves, because we are kind of, the end goal was to kind of use like the Lost name and brand it onto different things, whether it's group trips, retreats, courses.
Well, I've enjoyed watching you immensely, and and trying to follow you and your exploits. We're going to take a break for some messages and come back more with Claudia and Con in just a minute, the Lost Two, and hear about some of the places where they've traveled, and then maybe we'll get into the business side of things. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. So it's Easter Monday, and I thought it would be really interesting to, we're all thinking about, new lives and the new future and rebirth and spring and all that kind of stuff. And I've checked in on two people in the last couple of months who are, I think, living the dream. What they're doing is they're traveling around the world. They're taking pictures. They're obviously much in love. They show great pictures of them in bathtubs and in trips and lots of different places and great locale. And they're making money out of it. And it's amazing. It's an Instagram success story. Claudia and Con, the Lost Two. You guys, where have you gone? Give me a list of some of the places you've gone.
So
we could be here till tomorrow if we went through the whole list, but some of our favorites?
So we've been to over 55 countries now together. Some of our favorites are Vanuatu. It's a country about 2 hours east of Australia. Kind of by
Sorry, hold it. What? I've never heard of this country.
Vanuatu. It's a country, believe it or not. It's an actual country. It's made up of 83 islands. It's very secluded in the Pacific Ocean, and not many people have heard of it. It's very primitive in terms of their culture. I think people wearing leaves and tree bark and stuff for clothing, really, really primitive, and incredible experience when we went there.
How long were you there?
We were there for 2 weeks, and
Where'd you stay?
So we in the capital island, we actually stayed in a regular Airbnb. They've got internet, and they figured out Airbnb. So we stayed in an Airbnb, and then we flew over to one of the more remote islands where the airport is basically just a patch of grass. And you land there, and a couple guys kind of pick you up in a car. They have a car, but there's no roads. It's all off-roading, and they take you 30 kilometers, but it takes you 2 hours to get to their village. And we stayed with this tribe in their village. And I kid you not, it's also something out of this world.
It's incredible because they rely on satellite internet, but because now with the advances of technology and having Airbnb, now they're able to kind of welcome people to their village. So, you sleep there, you dine with them, and then they can just kind of show you more of their culture, which is such an interesting thing because, 10, 20 years ago, you'd have to actually book a group tour to see them. But now they're able to kind of be their own bosses, create their own, self-sufficient economy.
They definitely have some of the, I guess you could say the technology that we have, that we love so much, like internet and stuff, but everything else is very, very primitive in nature.
Fantastic. I've never even heard of it. Congratulations. Where else?
Gosh, the Middle East. We love the Middle East. Jordan, Dubai, Oman. Beautiful places. And I think that they have there's a big misconception when it comes to the Middle East that it's a dangerous area, dangerous place, but that there's some of the most welcoming people that we've met on the planet. We went to a gas station in Oman, and we forgot our credit card in the car. And Claudia was like, "Oh, just go get it." And the guy behind us was like, "No, don't worry," and paid for our whole bill.
Yes. So
what's Dubai like? Is it as magnificent with all these big buildings that we hear about?
It is. I actually grew up in Dubai. I was born there, and it's completely changed since my family immigrated to Canada in 2005. And when I left, it was just at the beginning of its boom. And we went back a couple of years ago just to see how much had changed in the last 12 or 13 years since I had left. And my goodness, it's like the only thing that's missing from Dubai is the flying cars, and it is literally the year 3000.
Okay, so the Middle East, where else?
South America.
We love Peru. It's such a beautiful and special place.
Have you been to Machu Picchu?
We have.
Yes, we did Machu Picchu. We did Huacachina, which is the sand dunes, really incredible. We also love Africa. So we've done quite a few road trips around Eastern and Southern Africa. I think we've been to over 11 countries. We self-drove South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana. That was a 6-week camping road trip. It was
camping road trip.
Yeah, incredible. We camped on the roof of our car for 6 straight weeks. It was the African continent is by far our favorite continent in the world.
Why the roof?
Because the roof is actually the safest place to be in terms of like the animals and stuff. Animals don't come and disturb you when they see a car. It's big and intimidating.
Yeah. Elephants think it's a rock, so they won't step on you. They'll walk around.
That's nice to know that elephants won't step on you.
Yes.
And what do? You like, do you like just have sleeping bags, or do you put up a tent on the car, or what?
It's a proper, like, tent that sits on the car, just like it sits on the racks, just like a canoe would here in Canada.
They're all 4x4 cars.
Yeah, 4x4 cars. The tent folds over. A ladder comes down. It's all padded inside. You've got your sleeping bags. You've got the car is fully equipped with refrigerators, dual batteries, dual fuel tanks. So you can go for like 1,000 kilometers on one fill up.
And there's days you won't see a single soul. You'll just drive and there's no one there. So we learned how to fix little things that went wrong with the car, change flat tires. We blew through, I think, 2 or 3 tires on our trip. The roads are really, really rough.
Now, you're taking pictures all the time. Con or Claudia, were you guys photographers, professional photographers before you started this process?
Con was an accountant before, so nothing wrong with accountants, but they're not known for like photography or creativity much. So.
Definitely flipped the spectrum. Yeah. And Claudia was in the restaurant industry.
So neither one of us had we didn't go to school for this. We didn't have any training. We actually started using, on our first trip, a Samsung Galaxy S5. So it was way back then, and we just learned how to edit. Everything is self-taught. I mean, the free resources that are available on YouTube and Instagram is just incredible. So we just learned little by little.
Just self-taught, yeah.
And you've been posting primarily on Instagram? Are you on TikTok? Are you on Facebook? Are you on anything else?
Primarily on Instagram at The Lost 2. But we have accounts on TikTok, which is also at The Lost 2, and pretty much any other social media you can find us at The Lost 2. But we're most active on Instagram, probably not as active on as much as we should be on the other social medias.
There's only 2 of us. I wish we had a whole team helping us.
Now, Claudia, Con takes a lot of pictures of you. Have you been a model in the past or what?
No, I wish. No. He's really he's really good at inspiring me. He directs me. He's actually the one who picks out my outfits for the shoots, which is one less thing I have to worry about, because I wake up, I just do my hair and makeup, and he's the one picking out what outfit.
I have the scene set and the camera set up, and she just needs to hop in the frame.
It's nice having a good subject material, Con.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
I can imagine. And so you say you're self-taught. So what recommendations can you give to people as to where they go and self-teach themselves?
I think that the best way to teach yourself anything, not just photography, is just to get out there and do it. You can learn. You can sit in front of YouTube for hours and hours, days and days, years and years, and learn as much technical content and theory as you would like. But the real deal, what takes you to the next level is actually getting out there, making mistakes, practicing, and just going with it and learning how it all works. And I think that we learned the most through trial and error. We watched a few YouTube videos and whatnot, but then other than that, it was just using the software, Adobe Lightroom, which is primarily where we edit our photos, Adobe Photoshop, and just playing with the sliders and playing with the different tools that are in there and just learning what thing affects what. And it took us a few years, but it got us there.
How do you turn it into a revenue model?
Yeah. So with Instagram, it's.
So the platform itself does not pay.
The platform itself doesn't pay, but because you have such a large audience, brands and companies are able to tap into your following. And because people are following, listening to you, they're watching your adventures as you are, they're constantly listening to you on a day-to-day. It's almost like reality TV, but more in a live form. And these brands are able to. You
guys are going to have to like break up and get back together and like give us some, interest.
There's a whole storyline that goes with every day, and these brands tap into our account, and they pay us to promote their products because they know that we have a much closer connection with our audience than, say, like watching a Super Bowl ad or watching a TV commercial does, where you just kind of it just plays in the background or you press it on mute.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're more likely to listen to a recommendation of someone you know or your friend than from a traditional ad, and that's where a lot of companies are starting to see the revenue and the results of what they call influencer marketing or social media marketing. So that's kind of one tier of how we earn our income. We also sell ebooks, presets, which are like photo filters. And then lastly, we also do content creation for brands. And that also really, really took off during COVID, when no one was at the start of COVID, no one was able to take photos and videos, like all the sets and production got shut down. So companies would just send us products and they're like, well, now you're the model, director, photographer, videographer. Here's the content we're looking for. Here's the product, and just go wild.
So being an influencer, you are influencing people. You've influenced me. People trust you for your recommendations. What do you do to evaluate whether the products are worthy of your recommendation or not?
We always try the products ourselves. As a matter of fact, that like when you go on our page, you don't see, sponsored post here, sponsored post there. It's not like you're watching a TV commercial all the time, although we very well could make it that and make, it's sponsored posts left, right, and center, but that kind of devalues our brand, and it also creates mistrust with our audience, because then it just seems like we're promoting any old thing that we can get our hands on. So the way we actually work is we will actually typically buy a product that we actually need, like, whether it be a juicer or a, Claudia's makeup, or, us traveling somewhere, and we actually purchase it ourselves. And if we enjoy the experience, if we enjoy the product so much, we will then go out and reach out to the brand and be like, hey guys, like, we just purchased your product. We enjoyed the hell out of it. It's amazing. And we think that our audience would love that too. Like, we genuinely feel that our audience would like to use this too. And then the brands see us in a better light, and our audience sees us in a better light, because we're only recommending products that we actually use ourselves. And so that's how we kind of gain that trust with people.
That's interesting. So you try it first, and then you go and get the sponsorship.
Yeah.
We quickly realized at the beginning that it's a lot more, if we are in this for the long haul, it makes a lot more sense for you to build a brand and have your audience respect you, rather than just going chasing any like quick dollar.
Can you repeat that? It makes more sense for you to build the brand first and get respect before you go for the quick dollar.
Rather than go for a quick dollar.
Rather than go for the quick dollar.
Yeah, because
you know what? That's great lessons for almost anybody in anything.
Yeah, especially anything that you're doing. Like, for us, it made sense. I mean, at the beginning, we were being offered, yogurt ads or products that we never ever used. I just said yogurt because that's the first thing that came to my head. But we realized it doesn't make sense. Like, people don't want to be on social media and feel like they're watching an advertisement.
Like, here, try the strawberry yogurt. And it's like, well, I follow you guys for travel and like other things, so why are you showing me yogurt?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we may promote yogurt if it's yogurt that we actually use every day in our recipes, and we love it so much. And like, that may be a possibility, but it's not just like it'll randomly appear on our page. So
what's the future for you guys?
I think that we're going to start, I think that, once we actually had many things derailed because of COVID, we were moving into more of the educational route and teaching people and creating workshops and teaching and wanting to teach people how to do what we have done, and how to teach people to like teach them photography and social media. And we had two retreats sold out in Bali in 2020, which unfortunately we had to cancel. And I think that the future for us is definitely in the educational sector of social media, and teaching people kind of the ropes and how to do what we have done and fast track them to get to where we are, as opposed to the last 3.5 years that we've been doing it.
But also more of a short term, but also long term. We're currently looking to purchase land in Ontario and build kind of really unique Airbnb experiences. So hopefully that'll be
that'll be like our lost retreat. So where our closest followers can, escape the craziness for a couple nights in the wilderness. And
what kind of a retreat?
Something unique, like a unique Airbnb experience.
Yeah. So we stayed in like some of the world's most famous Airbnbs, whether they're like, tents, bamboo houses, all of that. So, and all these hotels that we've also stayed at. So we're kind of thinking of building something like a very unique structure that, you're going to see a photo of it and be like, wow, I really want to go there. I want to have an amazing experience. So almost, I guess, a bit of part of the hospitality sector, hotel hospitality sector as well.
We're chatting tonight with the Lost Two two people that are just so engaging, Claudia and Con, who have been traveling around the world for the last, since 2018 and documenting it on Instagram and Instagram Reels and turning it into a business and living the dream. We're going to take a break for some messages and come back more with Claudia and Con in just a minute. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour, Saga 960. We're chatting today with Claudia and Con, who are the Lost Two on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, but primarily Instagram. They've been traveling the world and documenting it and creating a business out of it. And number one, the pictures are great. I've loved watching the pictures. I've loved watching your travels. But number two, it's just an interesting, it's an interesting story that you've turned this travel into something that can support you, if not actually make you some money. And so that's wonderful. You told me that you had lived in Bali for a while. Tell us about that.
So we moved to Bali in 2018, and our goal was just to live there for 2 to 3 months, see what would happen with our Instagram account, if we can actually make money from it. Our backup option was actually to move to Australia and take advantage of the visa there and just work for a year or two. But because our Instagram following really took off in Bali and we loved the lifestyle, we figured it's a perfect place to start your business and kind of experience everything that the island has to offer. The unique thing about Bali is that there are so many foreigners who live there, and you have a great sense of community, and everyone's doing something online. Everyone's kind of working for themselves, so you can really feed off each other. There's everything there from like online doctors, lawyers, accountants, just everyone and everything, and it has a great quality of life for very, very low cost.
Now, maybe some people don't know where Bali is. Where is it?
So Bali is an island in Indonesia. It's about 3 hours flight north of Australia, and it is 3 hours south of Singapore.
And I've been to Bali, as we chatted before. I spent some time both on Sanur Beach and Kuta Beach. You guys actually found an even better place.
Canggu, that's kind of like a new kind of up and coming area. So it's become really busy in the last handful of years. There's amazing cafes. The food scene is incredible. And because there's so many Australians in Bali, the coffee is like some of the best in the world.
Kuta Beach is sort of like Daytona Beach for Australians, right?
Maybe more like something like Bondi Beach or something like that. But it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of partying, and it's a lot of it's busy.
I enjoyed some funeral pyres where they did cremations at sunset. They were just spectacular.
That's right. Yeah, the Balinese do cremations.
They have a very beautiful and rich culture.
And I guess like Phuket and maybe lots of places around the world, everyone gets together to watch the sunset on the beach.
Oh yes, it's a huge phenomenon. I feel like our cell phone camera is just full of sunset photos when you live in Bali. It's every night. It's a sunset fiasco.
I mean, it's a free show every night and every sunrise.
And it's a big social thing. People gathering, drinking beers, and having a good time on the beach.
And then Sanur Beach was very high class and beautiful luxury hotels.
It is, yes. So Sanur Beach is more for the, more for the older generation, whereas Canggu and Seminyak are, I would say, more younger and hip. So 20 to 30-year-olds just
you won't
loud.
Find there's not many five-star resorts. You only have just a handful of them, and then predominantly the 5-star resorts like the Amans of the world. They're all on Sanur Beach.
You guys have gone just to some unbelievable places.
Yeah, that's Bora Bora that you see right there at the St. Regis.
So that's one of the hotels that we partner with, and we just kind of showcased their COVID safety protocols and just the beauty of Bora Bora.
That's Los Cabos right there. We were there for a couple of weeks. Toronto, of course.
Lots of pictures of the two of you.
Our brand is both of us, so it is both of us.
and when you're taking pictures of the two of you, what are you doing? Using a tripod or?
I think that's the number one question that we get asked is, how do you take your photos together? Do you have a photographer, awkwardly following you around the world and taking these photos of you in the bathtubs and whatnot? And
nope, 99% of the time, it's just our tripod.
It's just us on a timer. Here are some of the reels that you're looking at right now that we've incorporated into our brand that never used to be part of our what we used to do. This is all in the last 6 months.
Sorry about that. How do I get this? Stop now. Shot. Fuck. Oh, God. Oh, gosh. How do I do this? That's going to be a problem. So these reels where you cut in, throwing bathing suits and food and stuff like this, how do you do that?
It's just an edit in an app. I mean, we just record a bunch of different scenes, and just like when you edit your podcasts and your radio and whatnot, we do the same thing. We'll cut segments out and we'll piece them together so it seems like it's a seamless kind of video.
So it looks like you guys have a reasonable amount of fun.
Yeah, I mean, this is all in the last 6 months. All this stuff that you're seeing right now, this video content, was never part of what we used to do. This is all part of the pandemic and forcing us to transition, because we can't constantly be on the road as we once were. So we've had to find a way to keep people engaged and entertained while we're at home. I mean, Mississauga and Milton are beautiful places, but there's only so much that you can show around here.
Especially during lockdown when everything is closed.
So let's talk again about some of the favorite places to go. So you've been to Bali. You've been to Thailand.
Yeah, we loved French Polynesia, Bora Bora. It's beautiful. Maldives for sure.
Yeah, definitely on the luxurious end of things, Bora Bora and Maldives. If you're looking for a honeymoon, Bora Bora, Maldives, and Bali. Those are your top three options.
They're just stunning. We also love Iceland. That will always hold a special place in our hearts. It's such a unique island. It's a volcanic island, and the topography is really, really out of this world.
Now,
we also, however, last year we had the chance to explore more of, our backyard, more of Western Canada. And honestly, it's just incredible how beautiful some places are in Canada. And we're really hoping to do more of that this summer.
you seem to do a great job of just the production quality, where you position either Claudia or the two of you and how you edit. How did you learn that?
This is, as I said, this is all self-taught. We record all these videos on a cell phone. So if people think that you need an expensive camera, all this thousands of dollars worth of equipment, you in today's day and age, you don't. With the introduction of Instagram Reels, everything that you're watching right now that's in video form is recorded on an iPhone 11 and edited on an iPhone 11. Nothing has been taken on a professional camera. So if you own one of these things here, you can do it too.
But you're incredibly creative in the way that you're kissing and the bathtubs and the beds and all this kind of stuff. Where do you get all these ideas? Are you watching a lot of other people's? Like, look at this. This is fantastic. Where do you get these ideas?
Sometimes we just think, it may be a beautiful destination, but we need to add a certain different element into it that will get people, to stop scrolling and pay attention. So we'll do a wide range of poses. Sometimes we show up to a location and shoot because we already have a vision and it's perfect. And sometimes we show up and maybe what we thought, it doesn't look the same or it's not working. So those times have to be really quick on our feet and try to do something that will, grab the user's attention.
But generally the poses definitely have come with practice. If you look at our older photos from 2018, 2019, they don't look like the photos that you're looking at right now.
And, I've seen a lot of these couple pictures where the female's in front and she's holding the hand of someone behind. The two of you are making out all the time.
That's what sells. That's what sells. So, we're not going to change a machine that hasn't broken. There's no need to. It's been working in our favor. So,
So what is it? It's something about the sexiness of the pose and the two of you, the romanticism, but then also the location that you're at. Is that correct?
In a dreamy location, so it really makes people dream and imagine what could be.
Now, Con, this moon is not real. What did you do to get this moon so big?
Did you watch the Instagram stories on this? So no, that moon is not real. Although if the moon actually was there would be a way to get it to look like that by using a telephoto lens. But I used Photoshop to put that moon in there because it just made it more dreamy.
And a lot of yours are humorous as well.
as we mentioned, these reels that you're looking at right now, these are a new element to our brand in the last 6 months. This was never what we would post on our Instagram page.
I mean, we realized at one point people are going to get tired of like these dreamy, tropical, beautiful locations, especially if they're in lockdown. I mean, majority of our audience is Canadian, and unfortunately, with the travel restrictions, not many people can go. So at one point, we didn't want to be rubbing it into people's faces. So we were trying to come up with different, unique things at home that are still, relatable to our brand.
It's mainly couple comedy, like guys not doing the laundry, girls, it's just satirical things and things to laugh at when times have been tough over the last year. So
where'd you guys meet? Did you meet in Bali?
We met on Twitter.
You met on Twitter. How did you meet on Twitter?
Oh gosh, you got another 30 minutes for us?
No. So back in the day, there was only Twitter and Facebook. This is like 10, 11, 12 years ago now. We just started following each other, and then we just, somehow kept in touch. And then we only actually met in person 5.5 years ago, almost 6 years now. And yeah, got engaged 3 years ago and got married 2 years ago.
There was a whole community on Twitter when Twitter first launched from people from Toronto. And somehow we ended up following each other because we were both from Toronto. And we ended up on all of each other's social medias. And, a few years later, I just said, I'm going to ask this girl if she wants to go for some drinks. And she said yes. Never met me before. And the rest was history.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like you guys are living the dream. There's just no question about it. And you've been to some unbelievable places, as your Instagram stories do tell.
Thank you.
Of course. We're hoping to show you some more of the behind the scenes stuff. I mean, a lot of it, most of our days are actually spent like behind our laptops doing like administrative stuff and.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Oh yes, there's a lot of things that people don't see that happens behind the scenes.
Well, it's been a fascinating story hearing what you're all about. We're going to take a break for some messages and come back more. And we're just going to talk a little bit about how Claudia and Con think the digital world is changing our lives. Stay with us. What a fascinating conversation we're having tonight with Claudia and Con, the lost two on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, but primarily Instagram, who have traveled the world for the last couple of years and made a name for themselves and got a social media following in regards to just, great stories, great Instagram reels, great Instagram pictures. And a lot of them are the two of them having a very romantic time in front of fantastic settings. And some of them are humorous stories about the challenges couples play. Con's got the benefit of an interesting model that he gets to take pictures of, but I guess if you're a female, Con's not too bad to look at too. And so that it's been, fascinating for me following you guys, and I've really appreciated it. It's interesting how the world is changing, and no one a couple of years ago would have thought about someone like the two of you making a business out of being a social media influencer. Where do you think this is all going?
I think brands are they're seeing the value in it, and with people, tuning and watching less advertisements on like televisions, billboards with COVID, and the drastic reduction in traffic. No one's really billboards aren't reaching as many people before. The billboards on Yonge and Dundas aren't reaching the same volume before. However, the ads that you have on social media, they're reaching 2-3 times that market that traditional advertising used to reach. So
influencer marketing is already in the billions of dollars, and it's only going to grow from there. So it's clear where the trajectory is very clear, and I think that it's only going to grow, and there's going to be bigger budgets for people like us and from brands to continue to do what we do, and maybe even more with new platforms being launched like TikTok and whatnot. So there's definitely space for anyone who wants to enter and become and do what we're doing in this market. There's definitely space for people. It may seem saturated, but if you have a unique story to tell, or you're funny, or you have something, you can add a different perspective on things, you can definitely make a name for yourself.
So you guys are doing, 15-second reels on TikTok and Instagram?
Yeah, that's right.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
So I'm an hour on AM radio. I guess I'm like the dinosaur. Is that right?
I mean, no, I mean, look at all the, podcasts. People still love to listen. So.
It's interesting that media has changed so dramatically. And I've got a friend that is a teenager, and she is unbelievably knowledgeable about what's going on in world events from TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok has definitely shifted a lot of the social media landscape. You see, Instagram Reels came out as a result of TikTok. It's Instagram or Facebook's competitive, feature that they have put up in Instagram to compete with TikTok because of how much it has shifted the space. So TikTok is definitely, it's big and it's here to stay.
So I've got hour-long radio shows and podcasts and video casts, but what have I got to do? I've got to start doing 15-second snippets and putting on Reels?
I mean, you could also record yourself dancing to 15 seconds of music. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
I think podcasts have their own niche, and I think that they're much more juicier in content and
much more value added.
Much more value is being added in podcasts. So it might be difficult to make a 15-second podcast, but something like that.
Well, I appreciate the two of you participating in an hour-long video. This has got to be the longest video you guys have ever done in your whole life.
Much more longer,
it's up there, yeah.
And we'll get together sometime in person, and we'll do a 15-second reel together.
100%.
100%.
You guys are living the dream. What recommendations do you have? It's Easter Monday, and people are thinking about spring and rebirth. What's the lesson of your story?
I think that now with with how COVID has changed the workplace and changed the work landscape, I think that there is a great opportunity in all of this for people to be able to get out there and experience the things that we have done. Maybe not just yet with restrictions and stuff still in place, but I think that even after COVID, whenever that may be, I think that a lot of brands and companies have realized that all that office space that they were occupying may not have been necessary, and I feel like they'd be able to downsize on the places that these office spaces, and people are going to be working remotely more often. So whether it's you want to go enjoy the countryside or you want to work from an island in the Maldives, I think that opportunity will exist for you. And there's no better time than to do this than after COVID. And I think that it's here to stay. I think remote working is here to stay.
Remote working is here to stay, and I can go and run my business from the Maldives.
It's very possible. Mm-hmm. It's more possible than you think it is.
Unbelievable. Well, the two of you, I've got to thank you so much for inspiring me, because I watch your, I don't know why, but your stories come up all the time. So it must be some algorithm that says I like you guys. And so that Instagram forces me to watch you. And I love watching your stories, and I love being inspired by where you're going. And I have to be honest and tell you that I'm inspired by your romance, and whether it's manufactured for the reels or whether it's real, it certainly looks real. And so you guys have got a wonderful love affair, and the romance comes through. And the places that you've gone are just amazing, and they're inspiring, and your photography is beautiful. And I recommend that anyone that's listening that's interested, you got to check out The Lost Two on Instagram. Claudia and Con, you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for inspiring me and hopefully a lot of us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. And we're heading to the Maldives in just a week from now. So there's never been a better time to follow us than that. It's some great inspiration on the way. That's
Claudia and Con, The Lost Two, the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. I come to you every Monday through Friday at 7 o'clock on 960 AM, or you can get my podcasts on briancrombie.com, on Apple podcasts, and on Spotify. And you get all my video casts on YouTube and Brian Crombie Radio Hour and on briancrombie.com. Thanks for joining me. Have a great night, and go check out The Lost Two on Instagram. Good night, everybody.